Ministry of Defense latest intelligence update on Ukraine, September 29, 2023. In recent weeks, hundreds of fighters formerly associated with the Wagner Group private military company, PMC, have begun redeploying to Ukraine as individuals and small groups, joining various pro-Russian units. Wagner withdrew from combat operations in Ukraine in early June 2023, before an attempted mutiny on June 24, 2023, and the subsequent death of Wagner owner Yevgeny Prigozhin and other senior leaders in a plane crash on August 23, 2023. The exact status of these redeploying personnel is unclear, but it is likely they have transferred to official Russian Ministry of Defense forces and other Wagner Group entities. Numerous reports indicate a concentration of Wagner veterans around Bakhmut. Their experience is particularly valuable in this sector, as many fought over the same terrain last winter and are familiar with current frontline tactics and the local Ukrainian forces. Ukraine Armed Forces General Staff Update. Day 583 of Russia's attempted full-scale invasion of Ukraine continues. On September 29th, there were 33 combat engagements. Russia launched 5 missile strikes, 38 airstrikes, and 19 multiple launch rocket system attacks against Ukrainian positions and settlements. Unfortunately, Russian attacks killed and wounded civilians, destroying homes and infrastructure. The situation in eastern and southern Ukraine remains active. Key points. Volyn and Polisia axes, no major changes. No signs of a Russian offensive buildup, though some Belarus units continue activities near the border. Siversky and Sloboshansky axes. Russia maintains forces near Ukraine's border, shelling settlements and laying mines. Over 25 settlements shelled, including in Chernihiv, Sumy, and Kharkiv oblasts. Kupiansk axis. Airstrikes near Komisarov, Petropavlivka, Ivanivka, and other areas in Kharkiv Oblast. Artillery and mortars hit Sinkivka, Tabovka, Berestov, Lyman axis. Airstrikes near Kopanki, Nevsky, Spern, Serebryanka. Artillery and mortars hit over 10 settlements including Nevsky, Bilohorivka, Torsky, Ryhorivka. Bakhmut axis. Failed Russian attempts to regain lost ground near Klishchivka. Airstrike near Bodanivka. Over 15 settlements shelled including Vasyukivka, Bila Hora, Zalin. Minefields increasing. Avdiivka axis. Failed Russian attempts to retake ground near Avdiivka. Ukrainian defenders repelled attacks south of Tonenki. Shelling of Stepov, Avdiivka, Tonenki, Shavern, Pervomoyska, Nevelsky. Marinka axis. Over 10 Russian attacks near Marinka repelled. Attacks near Novomikhailivka also repelled. Airstrikes near Krasnohorivka, Marinka. Shelling of Oleksandropol, Krasnohorivka, Marinka, Pobjeda, Novomikhailivka. Shakhtarsk axis. Russian attack west of Staromayorsky repelled. Airstrikes near Vuhledar, Novosilka, Urozhainy, Staromayorsky. Shelling of Vodane, Vuhledar, Prikostivka, Novosilka, Staromayorsky, Rivnopol. Zaporizhzhia axis. Failed Russian attempts to regain ground near Robotyne, Verbov. Airstrikes near Novodarivka, Robotyne, Novodenilivka, Orahov. Over 25 settlements shelled including Levadny, Malinivka, Huliaipol, Mala Tokmachka, Orakiv, Stepnohursky. Kherson axis. Airstrike near Olhivka. Shelling of over 15 settlements including Havrilivka, Respublikanets, Mykolivka, Antonivka, Kizimys, Ochakiv. Ukrainian forces continue offensive ops near Melitopol and Bakhmut, inflicting losses on Russian troops. 11 Ukrainian airstrikes against Russian targets. Missile troops hit Russian concentrations of troops and equipment, air defense, artillery, electronic warfare systems. The Institute for the Study of War Russian Offensive Campaign Assessment. On September 29th, Ukrainian counteroffensive operations continued in western Zaporizhzhia Oblast and near Bakhmut. According to Russian sources, on September 28th to 29th, Ukrainian forces attacked north of Robotyne, 10 kilometers south of Orakiv, near Verbov, 18 kilometers southeast of Orakiv, and Novoprokopivka, 13 kilometers south of Orakiv, in Zaporizhzhia Oblast. Russian military bloggers claimed Ukrainian forces unsuccessfully attempted advances east of the railway near Klishchivka, 7 kilometers southwest of Bakhmut, and Kurdyumivka, 13 kilometers southwest of Bakhmut, on September 29th. Heavy fighting was reported across the Klishchivka-Andriivka-Kurdyumivka line near Bakhmut. Ukrainian counteroffensive operations likely aim to disrupt Russian ground lines of communication, GLOCs, supporting operations in western Donetsk. Continued Ukrainian pressure around Bakhmut threatens Russian positions and logistics supporting the Severodonetsk-Lysychansk area. As Ukrainian forces make incremental gains, Russian defenses likely face continued strain. reclaiming initiative in these sectors can enable larger Ukrainian counteroffensives across the front line. The Institute for the Study of War key takeaways today. Russia announced its fall conscription cycle starting October 1st will include illegally annexed Ukrainian territories, signaling forced conscription efforts there. A Putin meeting with military officials signals he will likely back Defense Ministry over National Guard in recruiting current and former Wagner personnel. The Russian Federal Security Service looks to be supporting expanded surveillance of Russian internet and telecom users, furthering digital authoritarianism. Self-censorship in Russian media space has allowed fringe elements to directly criticize senior military commanders without repercussions. On September 29th, Russian forces conducted offensive operations along Kupiansk-Svatov-Kremina line, near Bakhmut, Avdiivka-Donetsk city, in western Donetsk, and eastern Zaporizhzhia and western Zaporizhzhia, gaining ground in some areas. Russia may be trying to bypass sanctions through military cooperation with CIS countries. Russia is relaxing passport controls for Ukrainians, likely to simplify movement of Ukrainian citizens to Russia. In summary, Russia is continuing military offensives, conscription efforts in occupied Ukraine, recruitment of Wagner forces, and domestic authoritarian control while seeking to bypass sanctions.